Good morning, children. It's lovely to have you with us.
Well, we're going back to the beginning. And last time we went back to the beginning of everything in Genesis chapters 1 and 2. Today we're moving to Genesis chapter 3 and we're thinking of the beginning of consequences.
Speaking of consequences.
Hey, well, I'm here with Beth, and we've got a little game. It's a quiz, and Beth has got to try and get the answers right. But if she gets one wrong, then there's going to be consequences. Okay, there's going to be consequences. So, Beth, question number 1. When is my birthday?
28th September.
Very good. Okay, that's correct. Question number 2. What is my favourite colour?
Blue.
It is blue. Well done. And question number 3, do I prefer chocolates or sweets?
Sweets.
Oh no, I prefer chocolate. Beth has got the answer wrong, and so now there has to be consequences. Beth, I'm sorry. Here we go. Oh dear.
Oh dear, I got a question wrong, didn't I? And I had to face the consequences. Now that is a bit silly, isn't it? But imagine if you never brushed your teeth. What would happen? That's right, they'd go rotten, wouldn't they? Or imagine if you put your hand in a fire. What would happen? It would burn, wouldn't it? Ouch. Actions have consequences.
Well, let's go back to the beginning in the book of Genesis. God has told the first humans, Adam and Eve, that they could eat any fruit in the whole garden, but that there was one tree which they should not eat the fruit from, because if they did, they would die. And we were left with the question, would the first humans listen to God? Well, in chapter 3, we're introduced to a new character, a snake. And this snake lies about God and makes him sound mean. Who did Adam and Eve trust? Did they trust the snake, or did they trust God who created them? Well, listen carefully as I read verse 6. So when the woman saw that the tree was good for food, and that it was a delight to the eyes, and that the tree was to be desired for wisdom, she took of its fruit and ate. And she also gave some to her husband who was with her, and he ate. Well, very sadly, Adam and Eve ate the fruit. They disobeyed God, and that is called sin.
That sounds quite bad. But does it really matter?
Well, yes, it really matters, because sin has consequences. Exactly, sin has consequences. And in this chapter we see 3 big consequences. Firstly, we see disagreements. God comes and says, what's going on? And Adam says, the woman made me do it. And the woman says, the snake made me do it. And they're arguing and they're bickering. It's awful. Imagine a world where no one argued. That's what it was meant to be like. But sin has consequences. Disagreements. Secondly, the second consequence of sin is difficulties. Instead of all the fruit they could ever want, God says they would now have to painfully struggle for food. Sin has consequences. But worst of all, disagreements, difficulties, but worst of all, The third consequence of sin is death. Remember, that's what God said would happen if they ate the fruit. God kicks them out of the garden, and eventually they die. Sin leads to death.
Ah, that's why the world is as it is now. Every single person who has ever lived since then has died or will die at some point. That's an awful consequence.
So why has the world got so many problems? Well, Genesis says it's because of sin and the beginning of consequences.
Thankfully, that's not the end of the story. So listen in next time as we go back to the beginning.
Bye.